Yeah, why do people relate terrorism with Islam? I think it baffles me too, and it's just nuts. I mean, after 9/11, like, things changed a lot, and there's a lot of politics in it too. There's a lot of propaganda in it too. Again, that's my opinion personally, but yeah, it's a great marketing campaign. It's been working against us, I can say. And it's definitely run through the media, and definitely major media channels are supporting it, and spreading the stereotype, I feel. But we can see that 90% of the Muslim population is not violent, or more than that, I'd say 99%. And there's violence and extremism in any sort of situation, and it doesn't have to necessarily be related to Islam. I think it's a mental disposition rather than a religious one. And nowhere in my religion, from what I've learned or from what I know, and again, I'm not any authority on Islam, but is there anywhere that tells me that I can go and hurt people? If anything, our Prophet, peace be upon him, he taught restraint and forgiveness, and throughout his life. And if you actually study his life and his teachings, it's completely about peace, and it's always not about forcing or imposing your opinions on anyone. It's about teaching by example, and that's you can't attract people through violence, and it's definitely if you're trying to spread a religion, definitely it's going to come through love and acceptance and understanding. And I think that's the part that people miss because they're ignorant, and I think ignorance is a huge factor in where we're at right now, and it's a lot on our part too, because I mean we can get defensive too, and kind of feed the stereotypes. Sometimes it happens a lot because you feel like you're getting attacked, and it's your natural instinct is to get defensive, right? And I think if you look at that on a larger scale and to why people are doing the things that they're doing, I mean, I'm not trying to justify it, but you're going to invade a country and completely annihilate an entire generation, people are going to be pissed. It's pretty natural to be pissed off, and if they're going to defend themselves, and they're going to defend themselves. But again, innocent people that aren't involved, and children and women and old people, and this is brutality. It's just, I condemn it. I think I'd say majority of Muslims will condemn anything that's happening anywhere around the world, and the label that we're put on. And the funny thing is, people don't realize we're the victims. Like, who are the people that are getting killed? You look at Iraq, you look at Syria, you look at Pakistan, you look at Afghanistan. It's Muslims. We're the ones that are being victimized, and then the media victimizes us for being the terrorists that are doing it too. So it's just like on all ends, being bombarded with these accusations of terrorism, and it's just, it's, my religion's been hijacked, you know what I mean? And it's being used by these people who I don't even know who they are. They're trying to represent their own ideology, which doesn't even relate. It's almost like cult following, right? It's almost like saying, yeah, Charles Manson was a terrorist because, he had a cult following and people went out and killed people. And it's the same exact thing, but that terrorism word is just stuck. And I think we need to completely eradicate that from vocabulary, and we should, judge people on, I'm going on for a long here, but we should judge people on their specific actions and not what they're, trying to relate themselves to personally. So that's my feeling on that.
I think that Islam has been labeled with terrorism. One reason, because I agree with him. I feel, in my personal opinion, I feel like it is a propaganda and all that, and media is involved in all that. But I find that my example for the media being involved is that if you see that a Muslim has killed somebody in the States or something, they'll see that it's an act of terrorism. But if it's the other way around, if it's another person, not Muslim, killing another person, it'll be an act of, the poor guy was, mentally ill or something like that. I also find that Islam has been labeled a terrorism because of the simple word jihad. And jihad does mean holy war, but they've judged Islam on what we did on this beginning of Islam, is that we did fought wars, right? We fought wars, and that was jihad back then. But the jihad of today is, we say, is by the pen and with our words. Of course, there's going to be some people, and they've taken jihad literally, and you know, those are the terrorists that you guys label. But in my personal jihad is jihad that I'm doing right now, and that's tell you guys by voice with peace and by writing. That's my type of jihad. So I feel like jihad, you know, it's 2015, right? So we have technology. Social media is my type of jihad too. So it's no more fighting. It's all about, you know, my writing, my voice.
I think if you take the politics out of it for a second, you know, forget that it's 2015, take the social media out of it. The one Quranic verse that sticks out to me the most is that there is no compulsion in religion. That goes for me as a Muslim, and that goes for the people around me who are not Muslims. It is not, I cannot be forced into doing anything that anyone believes is Islamic or not Islamic, and I can still choose to call myself a Muslim. I read an article the other day about this girl who wrote an article that said how to practice Islam in booty shorts. Now, it sounds radical, but that's the point, is that no one can tell her that she is not Muslim, because that's what the religion says. There's no compulsion. If she thinks that she can practice Islam in booty shorts, she can practice Islam in booty shorts, and none of us here can tell her otherwise. But on the flip side, that also means it might be my duty to tell you that I am Muslim and to tell you about my religion, but it is not my duty in any world to force you to be Muslim and to tell you that you're gonna go to hell if you don't convert, and you know, you eat bacon, oh my God. Like, that's not my job. I can't judge you. You could be the greatest human being in the world, and I don't think that I as a Muslim have the right to say that I'm better than you just because I choose to pray 5 times a day, or I choose to cover myself up when I go out. That has nothing to do with what we are as humans. And I feel like some people have taken it upon themselves to get that message out to other people that, you know, you're gonna go to hell if you don't convert. And I think that's silly, but it's the reality of it. I just don't agree with that. I understand that it's important that we have discussions, that I tell you about me and that you tell me about you, but it is not necessary for me to tell you how to live your life or for you to tell me how to live my life. And that's what it comes down to. There's always the few bad apples in the bigger batch, and that's what this is. You know, the few bad apples that ruin it for everyone, they get blown out of proportion. I come back to the fact that most of us are normal people. Like, 3 of us sit here, we don't have guns, we're not talking bombs, like we're having a conversation trying to dispel stereotypes. And that's what the majority of the population wants. But a few can ruin it for a lot of people. And just given that it is 2015 and that things go viral super quick, that can work against us very quickly.
Absolutely. Good stuff.